Very cool. Alrighty, so episode 10 of the Cringe Crew Music Podcast, the mid-season finale. We were supposed to have Ted on for this one, but something came up. He couldn't make it, so we'll get him next time. But let me make sure I can hear everybody here. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. Yep, I can hear everybody just fine. We're good. We're good. So, albums this week.
Ooh.
Let me pull up the list here. We've got Daughters, You Can't Get What You Want, Mild High Club's Skiptracing, and Excision's Virus. So, I think I want to do mine last because it's interesting. Let's do.
I have opinions about yours.
I'm sure you do. Let's do yours first, Steven, actually, because yours is like, compared to me and Conley's, yours is like mellow and chill, and then you have ours, which is some degree of like intensity.
I picked mine without realizing what you guys had picked. Had I seen you guys's, because I love Excision, or I used to anyways, I would have picked something a little more heavy. But so I'm sitting there and I'm listening to my album or re-listening to it, and I'm like, wow, I love this album, man. I love Mild High Club. Like, this is a really, really good band and a really good album.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go immediately from that to Excision, and then Daughters. But I'll explain my feelings about the jarring realization about that in a minute. This album's actually really good. I found these guys because I was in Target one day, and I gotta look up the actual name of the song now because it's been a minute.
Oh, is it like one of those things where you're like at a store or a restaurant or something and a song's playing and it's like, wow, this is really good. Who is this? And it's like, wow, I'll have to check this out. Is it that kind of deal?
Yeah, Homage.
Okay.
That was the name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard the song and I'm like, I really, really like this song. I'm gonna look up this band. And I did, and they're a pretty, I wouldn't say obscure, but they're not like really well known. And it's a good fucking band. This whole album is good. Like, if y'all have ever wanted bluesgrassy type music mixed with lo-fi, this is kind of it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even name some standout tracks because the whole album's good. The closest thing to a standout track, I guess I could say, is Homage, maybe. Homage is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably my favorite off of the album. A close second would be Carry Me Back. But I really like the whole album.
Yeah. This was an interesting one because I mean, also coming off of what I had picked and coming off of what Mike had picked, I was like expecting something different, but I really liked this, and it also took me about half a second into Homage that the little piece of my brain that has watched TikTok before or has seen TikToks before, like, was like, oh, that's where this song is from.
Oh, don't tell me TikTok got to this song too.
It has been all over TikTok, like insanely so. Like,
gross.
This was at one point one of the highest like used samples on TikTok.
That makes me sad.
So that's why, actually, if you're on Spotify and you see the little like popularity meter to the right, that's why Homage is the most popular, is because people found it. Not saying that it's not good, without TikTok, but that's why it blew up, I think, a little bit more. I think I really enjoyed this album. I got to I think Who Done It when I was like starting to space out a little bit, and I looked up their Wikipedia page and saw their genre was like psychedelic pop or like dream pop, and I was like, oh,
that makes sense.
That kind of makes sense now. Because I think it was right around Who Done It and a little bit after that I started to feel more like it did feel kind of like a dream for some reason. I mean, I was also pretty. That was also smoking. So.
Yeah.
You had yourself a nice hot chocolate and
Yeah.
were really relaxed, right, man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
so
we
relaxed.
love hot chocolate.
I thought I was dreaming, but I was actually just listening to this album. It was I genuinely like when it first started. I was like, I think I know what this album's gonna be like. And then when it got to Who Done It, it kind of like not it didn't do like a 180, but it definitely like fit. It clicked in my head. I was like, okay, I really like this album.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Homage is definitely a standout. I personally like the 6-track Cocopelli and the 7th Who Done It. Just me, but those 3 were probably my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, since I was busy today, as per usual, I had to listen to everything basically within the span of 2 hours. So, unfortunately, I didn't get all the way through this. I got about halfway and was listening to it while I was making dinner and kind of on my drive home from dropping off my niece. And, yeah, this is just like really mellow kind of... Yeah, dream pop is an accurate descriptor for it. It's really mellow, good to kind of put on in the background while you do something else, and that's what I did. It was chill. I liked it. Pretty good.
I think I know how to describe this album. It just hit me.
Mhm.
If y'all remember a while back, I don't think you were on the podcast yet, Conley.
Mhm.
I put up Tori Moi.
Moi. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see that. All right. So anyway, we'll move on to the Excision one. Excision's Virus.
Yes. This I've been listening to Excision for a couple years now. This was really the first album that I shouldn't say the first album. This was one of the big albums that really kind of stuck out and made me really like him specifically more. But I was one of those people that listened to like Skrillex back in 2000
It was like 2010.
2010, yeah. Like one of the when he first started making like more mainstream like dubstep stuff. I started listening to him, and then like from there I kind of like went into like more electronic stuff. And Excision I liked a lot because he has a certain level. He has like really, what's the word, like hype heavy songs that just like kind of lended itself from my like love of rock into it. Like I said, this was one of the like first albums of his that I really liked. To be honest, I kind of like some of his other albums more than this one, but this one just holds a special place for me, I guess. For me, the big standouts are like Virus. I personally think that Generator is pretty funny, and also think that ones like G Shit and like Death Wish are kind of good.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't listened to Excision in years. So back in 2010, around that time when dubstep was getting big because of Skrillex, I was listening to other dubstep stuff. So like Excision, Dotsick, Flux Pavilion, all of them.
Yep.
And the Excision album that I was listening to back then was his first one, X-Rated. And I liked that album a lot at the time, but nowadays, like, I don't know, like, there was a point where I stopped listening to this kind of music, and then I went back to listening to Skrillex because kind of like all the artists under the hyperpop genre kind of see Skrillex as kind of an icon and ahead of his time kind of deal. And yeah, I appreciated what Skrillex was doing on Scary Monsters, and he has a distinct style compared to Excision, whereas Excision is just kind of like wubs and just in your face kind of deal, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm not really like a huge fan of that anymore, but I will say that there were elements of this that I liked, like some of the breakbeat stuff, the breakbeat stuff. Some of them were more mellow breakdowns and stuff. It was just kind of like the in-your-face bro steppy wubs that I'm not really a fan of.
Fair.
But yeah. Hey, yo, Steven.
I'm here. Sorry, some stuff is going down at the house, and I'm talking to Kaylee about it.
Okay.
It's fine though. So my opinions on this album. thanks for bringing back high school.
You're welcome.
Ooh, my mic peaked. Anyway, there we
I
go.
remember when I used to play Saints Row, and they had the dubstep cannon, and that sick
I
Excision
I
song
loved that
used to
song.
play.
Yep.
Whoever it was.
Was it Crowd Control?
I know what
Something
song.
like that.
I don't know.
Bass cannon is Flux.
No,
Yeah, bass cannon is
You think of
Flux
a different
Pavilion. I
one?
think you're talking about like
Oh, they have
the
different
gun,
names?
the bass cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Yeah, never mind.
But
Also, hello, Stallman.
It's Stallman.
so
Oh wow, Stallman liked your pick.
Wow, Stallman liked Jesus. I wasn't expecting that. Sorry, Steven.
But you're fine. My wife is trying to feed me red beans and rice, and she won't stop.
Okay. Eat the beans, bean boy.
She keeps telling me I need to eat. I'll eat in a bit. But so the immediately after listening to this song again, I went Daughters, which I should have done this album first because it would have at least eased me into that.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like what my Daughters. It's
you
not
cut out a bit, but it's fine.
This album's sort of like what you were saying. It's like Daughters, but in the same vein, not like Daughters in any way.
It's just the intensity, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But back in high school, I used to listen to this shit and think I was hardcore as fuck. Spoiler alert. High school Steven was not hardcore as fuck. He was in fact quite the opposite. It's okay. This is the first album I can say pretty distinctly I didn't really care for. Not because it was bad, just because this is definitely not my type of music anymore.
Yeah.
Like I like dubstep and techno, but like this one's like wubba-lub dubstep.
Yeah, it very much is.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that leaves me. Daughters, You Can't Get What You Want. So the reason I picked this one is because, assuming that Ted was going to be on, I thought it'd be cool to subject Ted to weird stuff. But oh well. So this album is notable because it is the last album that Anthony Fantano of the Needle Drop rated a perfect 10. And I've been meaning to get around to listening to the whole thing because I've only heard like a couple songs off of it, and I'm glad I did. This album takes the new top spot for album that will induce anxiety in you without fail. The best way I can describe this is basically in the notes that I wrote down. I'll pull that up really fast. Do you want to be terrified, a little anxious, and mildly uncomfortable? This'll do it.
All of these are accurate?
Yeah.
But yeah, some standouts on this album for me, Less Sex, Satan in the Wait, some other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I like the album a lot, surprisingly, like despite the intense anxiety it gives me. Like I guess because of that I like it.
Yeah, fair.
All right. I have opinions.
Oh boy.
So this was the first album I listened to after re-listening to Mild High Club, Skiptracing. Like I said, I love my album. I really like that album. It's really nice and peaceful. So in my head, I don't know why the hell I was expecting it. I expected Mike to pick something nice and peaceful.
Yeah, you just look at the album cover and it's like, yes, relax.
Not, well,
I don't like that.
It and I was like, okay, this might be like some Nox Arcana type shit. So like super dark but calming instrumentals. And the first track, 5 seconds in, I look down and I'm like, is this the right song? No, this is right. Mike, I'm gonna kill you.
I should have warned you. Oh well, it's a surprise.
Well, see, it would have been fine if I myself hadn't enjoyed quite a bit of hot chocolate. And I'm sitting there disassociating super hardcore to this, and I'm just like, things are not okay. I'm not okay. The world is my soul is an inky abyss from which there is no escape. I must atone for my sins.
Jesus Christ.
and I look down at this song. Like, at this point, I had just been listening, not really paying attention to the song, and I have it here in my notes because I was writing as I was listening. Why is this called Video Blocked in Country? That's such a weird name. Oh wait, that's YouTube. Hold on, let me look it up. Why is it called The Flammable Man? Why does that make sense? This is terrifying. I hate it. Next one that I really, really hated. Why? Why is it called City Song? That's not a thing it should be called. Okay, next one.
He's like talking about the city or something. I don't remember.
The next one. The Lord's Song. Nope.
Oh yeah, that
don't
was another
like
good
it.
one I liked.
Please stop. I don't like this. It sounds like someone screaming out of a basement for help. And I hate it. Some standouts for this album. There are none. I hated it.
Oh.
Why is it like this? Why did you pick this?
I just thought it was neat.
No, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
As far as concepts go, I'll quit roasting you. It's a cool pick.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this is how like some of the guitars on here are just absolutely whacked out. Like you listen to it and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. In all seriousness though, this was a really cool concept and a really cool pick, and probably my favorite song from it is Satan and the Weight.
Yeah, it's great. So a cool thing about this is Daughters went on like a 10-year hiatus or something, and then they came out with this.
Oh.
Yeah. It'd be an interesting comeback.
That's something.
So I like how I do most of these albums. I end up playing these as I'm playing a game of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
This was another one of those albums that was a distinctly bad fucking idea to play while playing zombies, because I was already in a slightly uneasy mood, having already consumed some hot chocolate. But this, I got to the first like maybe 30 seconds of City Song, and felt like my fucking brain was gonna explode. I was like,
right?
I was like, what the fuck is going on? I can't focus on anything that's not 2 feet in front of my own face. Anxiety inducing is definitely a word I would use. It's not that I'm gonna say it's bad, because I thought it was really, really good. It's not something that I think I'd listen to on an everyday basis.
I don't think I'd ever listen to this again, but go on.
But it's super fucking cool, and I appreciate the amount of effort and the overall like composure of this album. It's
I know how to explain this.
Okay, it's super interesting. Like you probably have a better way of describing it. I do think though that the anxiety inducing, it's such a dark album.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily like, but it's different from how I would consider like Everywhere at the End of Time dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's completely like, even though I'd consider them both like some of the darkest albums I've listened to, they're not in the same realm of what I would consider like dark, or like they're two completely separate entities, yet they're both dark. I don't know.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I personally really, even though, like I said, it fucked with me, I do like City Song a lot, and I think that Satan in the Weight is also, like you guys have already said, it's hard for me to really pick out like strong standouts, because I think everything in here was like this whole fucking album is standout.
Unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to like really. This City Song is the one that stood out the most to me. But
You know what this album reminds me of?
what?
So you know those like dollar store Halloween CDs? I don't think they've made them in a really long time, but they're like the ambient CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That just sounds like distorted, manipulated music with like a scream every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really have to listen to it to understand what I'm talking about. So if you haven't listened
I've
to
had
this,
one of those CDs. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
yeah. So if you haven't listened to this, anyone watching, definitely go listen to it, but do not consume hot chocolate at all while listening to it, because or consume the paper equivalent of hot chocolate. That would be a bad idea.
Don't do it. Alrighty. Well, that's
Fair.
the albums for the week. So it's funny that you bring up Everywhere at the End of Time again, because I have a follow-up to this. So last night, I was playing Layers of Fear 2, and I'm going to highlight this clip, but there is a point in the game where you come to a section where... So if you played Layers of Fear 1, it's basically you go through a bunch of weird, like, reality-bending kind of stuff, and there's a hub world kind of thing where you're trying to build something that gets revealed at the end of the game. Layers of Fear 2 takes place on a ship, and you're an actor who is working under a notoriously eccentric director who puts you through a bunch of hoops in order to build a character. So you come to a point where there is a mannequin, a rotating platform, and you have to like slow down this platform enough to line up a chair that is on a string to land on a thing. The music that plays during this is basically the ballroom music that plays in the first two stages of Everywhere at the End of Time. And upon hearing this, it triggered a reaction so visceral that I had to stop what I was doing. And I was just like, oh God, oh no. And I went on like this rant about how like it just comes back. You hear this and you think of the album, and I was like going nuts over this. I'm gonna post this clip in clips and highlights later, and you're gonna see what happened. You're gonna be like, Mike, what the fuck? Calm down. But like, if you listen to this whole album, you understand why I did that. And there's also a lever where you can like slow down the rotating platform, and it like slows down and speeds up the song. And upon discovering this, I was just like, oh God, oh no.
Oh God.
So I have a follow-up to Everywhere at the End of the Time, or Everywhere at the End of Time. I don't like it. I can officially say I don't like it.
Have you listened to all of it or just part of it?
I started on the final album and I had to stop.
You started with the final one? Why did you do that?
No, I'm saying I got to the end.
Oh, you got to the last one. Okay.
I had to stop. I can't do it.
Oh, was there a track that you stopped on, or was it just got to it done?
Yeah, I got to it and I was done.
Okay, like in the first track. Okay.
The easiest way to explain it is, I've explained this before, but part of my autism is sensory. So like, textures, sounds, everything has a specific feeling that my brain registers it to. Here, I have it written out. I didn't go track by track like Mike did, but the easiest way to describe it is, okay, here they are. Normally, my sensory overload triggers with feeling things, because I'm usually really good about crowds, peoples, and other things that typically trigger autistic people. What really triggers me, apparently, is sounds. Listening to this, the only feeling that I could even begin to process was immense dread.
Yeah.
I had to stop because I felt myself becoming physically ill and started to tear up.
Ooh.
I wound up stopping after I felt my acid start to fill the back of my throat. I stopped at that point. I tried, I really did, but No.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Like,
Yeah.
you listen to that whole thing, and like in my notes, I described this as being like devoid of any musical qualities or anything that resembles that. It's just textures of crackling and distortion, nothing musical at all.
And now that I've listened to it, it is exactly what you said.
Yeah, and then you get to like the last 5 minutes of the final track where the perfectly coherent piano and the choir comes in, and it fucks with you after listening to like nothing but silence and distortion.
Yeah.
Like, even talking about it, my hands are starting to clam up. I thought it was a joke, or like people were overhyping it when they say don't listen to this if you're not in the right state of mind. Don't do it. Genuinely don't do it. But if you have the opportunity to, and you don't mind sitting through like what,
6
like,
hours,
take it
6 hours,
if you have to,
yeah.
like, take it slow like I did and listen to like a stage at a time.
Yeah, I haven't even finished all of it yet.
Don't do it all at once for sure. Make sure you're in a good mental state. And if you start to feel bad, tap out.
Yeah.
Don't keep going. I'll probably come back to it and finish it just because I've gotten this far. And I'm not one to tap out when I'm already this deep, but like it was a lot with everything going on at the house right now.
Fair. I mean, the title of track 01, stage 6 is A Confusion So Thick You Forget Forgetting.
It's
Like,
it uncomfortable doesn't begin to scratch it. So have you ever, I don't know if a lot of people in our Discord will get this because a lot of them are younger. The easiest thing to describe some of the later tracks is, imagine you're coming down the stairs at night. You're 13 years old, and it's the first time your parents have left you alone in a house. Everything's off except for the TV that your parents forgot to power down for whatever reason. And you come down and you just gradually hear the crackling and static start to pop up. Like, if you've ever messed with an old plasma tube TV, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then as you get down, you just like sit at a couch for whatever reason and just start staring at the screen. Because you've got nothing else to do, nothing's on TV, you've scrolled through the channels, it's all just static. And so you just kind of sit there, lost in thought, staring at this screen, listening to the crackling noise. That is the best way to describe the feeling for that track specifically. I hated it. Well, I didn't...
Fair. Fair.
Hate is not accurate. I strongly disliked it. It was uncomfortable.
Fair. I think the caretaker, well, Leland Kirby, I think he very much was, he wanted to make this album as uncomfortable as just physically fucking possible.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah,
My cat's mad. I stopped petting him. Oh yeah, by the way, on a happier note, I have a new cat.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
His name is Big O. He is an orange Maine Coon mutt. He is adorable. You remember Snuffy, Mike, right?
Yeah.
He's about maybe a third of the size of Snuffy.
Okay.
So he a big boy.
Alrighty. Well, I have a vinyl update for you, so I'll be right back.
God. Here comes the edge.
Did I talk about the My Chemical Romance album last week?
Nope, you didn't.
Oh boy!
Go on and discuss the edge, Mike. That's why I said, oh boy, here comes the edge.
Anyway, I don't know what that was. I'm gonna put my headphones on so I can fucking hear. All right, so I went to the record store because I ordered Tesseract's Altered State, which got a reissue, and I got it. Here it is. Wow. So it's 4 discs. It's the album plus just the instrumentals. It's really fucking cool, and this costs $65. And I think when I ordered it, the guy was judging me because of how expensive it kind of was, and I was like, "It's a good album," and he was like, "You could do worse, I guess." But yeah,
Looks at the $300 album.
it's $200. It's whatever. Did I pay $200 for an album that contains an entire track of leopard seal noises? Yes, I had to.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Me and Stallman listened to it together on stream. He can confirm. They're snoring leopard seal noises. It's great. But yeah, I'm glad I own this now. Also, Record Store Black Friday was recently, and I missed it because I had to work that day. But luckily, they had one of the albums I wanted, which is My Chemical Romance's Life on the Murder Scene, which is the live album for 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Is she alive?
Oh.
So, cool thing about this. Wow! Clear, and it's got little red splatters on it. It's really neato.
That is a neat one.
I can already hear the songs off of that album playing from a vinyl record player and you nutting.
I mean, I listened to it earlier, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know how well this shows up, but like the little like blood on here, it's like shiny, kind
Ooh.
of,
Yeah.
and that's neat. But yeah,
Mike is an edgy boy.
I am an edgy boy.
It's fine. We still love you. Yeah,
Yeah.
edgelord.
Yeah. Anywho, you guys have anything?
I do not have a vinyl for this week, but I do have some interesting news.
Okay.
A guy next door got evicted, and his like $400 LG sound system got thrown out, so it's
Oh.
mine now.
Oh. Okay.
It's got a huge fucking subwoofer, 2 speakers, and a volume control with hookups for RCA input, optical input, and USB input.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's called X Boom, I think is the name of it. As generic and like mass production as that sounds really fucking good. I
Yeah.
literally cannot play it with anyone else in the house because it is so loud that from the den in my house, I can hear it all the way in the back hallway by the girls' rooms.
Damn. Dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it is absurdly loud. But is cool. I have it hooked up to my Panasonic thrusters as well. So total there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speakers in the setup right now.
Ooh.
Nice.
I will post picture of it later
Yes.
because I currently have cat in lap.
And you may not move. Has anyone checked out their Spotify Wrapped 2020?
I have. I can actually.
I have as well.
I can talk about that really fast. So I'll just pull mine up. There's like no surprises on mine at all. So let me pull it up really quick. Because I listen to like
actual
the same playlist over and
surprise.
over. So let me see.
Yeah.
What's your number 1 genre? I'm probably pretty sure of it, but
Oh, where's my Wrapped at? There it is. Hey, there we go. All right. So I have it up right now. Where's the list? I have to go through this like it's a fucking Snapchat story, and I hate it. I just want the bit at the end. All right, so my number 1 genre is hip hop.
yep, that's about what I thought.
Top 5 artists: Blade, Block Party, Health, Young Lean, and Periphery.
Okay, that's a little different than I was expecting. I was expecting Lil Peep to be on there somewhere.
Top 5 songs: Love Goes On, the Palmistry remix that features Blade by Hannah Diamond, Why Can't This Be Easy by Red Vox, Stranded by Red Vox, Boy Life in EU by Young Lean, and In the Garden by Red Vox.
to the surprise of literally no one, if you watch this podcast at all, my number one genre was power metal. Oh, I do have something cool. I was in the 0.01% listeners for Powerwolf this year, so that's
Oh.
pretty neat.
Neato.
The number one song on my playlist is Werewolves of Armenia, the re-record from the Best of the Blessed, which, oh, wait, shit, I lied. I do have an album. I might have spent way too much money, because I went onto their website and it was sold out within 2 minutes. Best of the Blessed, the limited production vinyl re-release of it, sold out in the first 2 minutes, so I had to do something I'm really not proud of and buy into a scalper.
Ooh. Understandable.
How much
I
did you
spent
pay? Because I'm gonna cross-check with Discogs.
too much, I'm sure. I wound up spending like $250 on it. So, but it is my favorite album, like, ever. So, I have no shame.
Best of the Blessed 2020 reissue. It's the vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Is it black or blue? Is it colored?
It's black.
Black. The black one. Yeah, you overpaid for this by a fuck ton. It's $20 on Discogs.
Oh, I knew I did, dude.
Jesus.
I absolutely know I did. I should have waited, but I really didn't want to.
Always check Discogs first, man.
Well, I forgot the name of the fucking site because you told me it a while back and I meant to message you, but I wanted to get it as quickly as possible. But that is the newest vinyl I've bought probably 4 months. Ow! What the fuck, Big O?
Him Angie, pet him.
That's exactly what it was. He bit the shit out of me because I stopped petting him.
They're assholes, man.
They fucking are, yeah.
What the fuck, Big O? Why are you angry?
In big anger. Alright. Well,